Welcome everybody to the Synapse Philosophy Group. I'm Dr. Haig, John, your host. We got all our friends here, and it's good to have Carol Crystal back, our local resident, and Bob Crystal, and their new graduate, who is a new chiropractor amongst us. I love it. I love it. And we got Luke down here and Steve Shargell over there and Alan Lichter. We're going to have some people coming in all night long. So we're on page 40, D.D. Palmer's 1914 book, The Chiropractor. We just skipped a little bit. It's kind of not my favorite chapter. There's not much in there, rickets or rickets, and we're going to biology, okay?
Okay.
And you know the rules. Really, everyone has an opportunity to share. We don't attack anybody for their views, and we keep this chiropractic, okay? And I'm gonna do, since I've been adjusting all day and talking all day, and I haven't shut up. How about Alan? Would you mind giving us some of your wonderful voice and doing some reading?
Absolutely, happy to do it.
And I'm just going to mute everybody out. Excuse me. Just until what you want to speak, just let yourself in. Cool. All right. All right. Go ahead, Alan.
Biology. In all the affairs of life, we prosecute careful investigation in order to determine exactly what are the facts. Thinking we are right does not of necessity constitute righteousness. Thinking right or wrong is a matter of education. The standard of truthfulness may be quite different from the view we may happen to have. That's some deep stuff right there already.
That is.
If, for example, I had gotten the idea that 2 times 3 are 7 and carry that erroneous multiplication into all of my arithmetical calculations, architectural and financial operations, the fact that such was my honest conception would not undo or make right the erroneousness of my figuring. We should think correctly in order that we may get at facts. In chiropractic, too many teachers manufacture their own definition of terms. Make a dictionary according to Vaughn's conception. What would be the result if each banker and broker should invent and persist in using his own devised addition and multiplication table? Herein arises the discordant, inharmonious jangling among chiropractors regarding what constitutes the principles of the science, the method of adjusting, palpation, and nerve tracing, the philosophy of the science and the art.
Let's pause a moment. Okay. Now, this is something I tend to rant about my entire life as a chiropractor, is the proper vocabulary and syntax and way to use it. 1910 book by D.D., The Chiropractor's Adjuster, was exactly for this reason. That's why what he's really talking about, the word treatment and those type of things that have snuck into our profession are not within the lexicon of chiropractic. The treatment is for the disease. We care for the person. Now people use that word treatment, interchangeably with adjustment and all sorts of things. So keeping our words, our syntax in chiropractic is very, very important. A subluxation and an adjustment. What do you guys think about all that? I mean, D.D. Palmer, the whole, first couple of paragraphs here, he's saying we have to be specific in our words, because if you start messing it up, it changes the entire equation of chiropractic. Bob, go ahead. Hold on, unmute yourself.
Bob's talking, but he's still muted.
Okay, we got another person coming in. Carol, set him straight.
There you go.
There you go. Now we can hear you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having this meeting. Listen, real quick answer to that. I think somebody said that Dee Dee hated that word. especially in conjunction with in the use with chiropractic and anything that had to do with chiropractic. The word treatment.
That's exactly right. That's why I bring that up all the time. And it was Sigafus who used to say, one of his friends in Amish country, seeing very religious people, he put a big sign in his office that said, I would rather you say shit than treatment. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. But that's exactly right, because we care for the person, not the disease. You know, we put all our energy into what we don't want, right? That's Sigafus again. We'll put energy in things that we don't want. I don't want the disease. Why would I put energy towards it? Right? All right, Ryan McGrath. All right. Good to see you on the podcast today, man. All right, Alan, let's keep moving.
Biology presents only facts, the laws of which are of nature, natural, whether exhibited in health or disease. As chiropractors, we should continue to advance toward the truth in order to bring ourselves into closer relation with eternal realities. A truthful statement of facts is correct, not because of our consideration, supposition, or imagination, but because it is right, because it conforms with everlasting truth. All nature, natural, there is nothing supernatural. Phenomena may be super usual and supernormal. Any observable fact or event may appear miraculous when it is merely marvelous. It is because of our ignorance in regard to nature's law that they appear so to us.
Let's pause there a second, too. I mean, exactly. How much are we aware of in our surroundings? And, healing isn't a miracle. It's what we're supposed to do, right? Here comes Barry. Let me let him in. But yeah, I love this statement. I
Yes.
love it. Should we read that again?
Read the part about it being marvelous, that sentence before
Yeah,
marvelous.
exactly.
All nature is natural. There's nothing supernatural. Phenomena may be super usual and supernormal. Any observable fact or event may appear miraculous when it is merely marvelous. It is because of our ignorance in regard to nature's law that they appear so to us. So often things happen in our lives that we don't understand at the moment, and you look back a year or two or three later and you go, oh, yeah, that's not what I thought it was at all.
Oh,
Things that
yeah.
we think are bad for us, or things that are problems, and you turn around a couple years later and you go, that was such a gift.
Yeah. Why did I waste so much energy?
I think the first few sentences that you started today, and then the statement about we may look at something miraculous, but it's marvelous. I think those first few sentences that we started tonight stirred up in me the aha, yes, this is not an intellectual process. In this context, miraculous is more like of the rational head, whereas the miraculous is that child mind, and it's not conceptual. I think I heard that.
Of marvel. It's worthy of,
Thinking,
wow, that's just marvelous. Digesting my breakfast and making it into me. I mean, it's incredible, but it's normal, right? It's just absolutely amazing. I like this part because you know what? Dee Dee sounds like a millennial. Oh, it's super normal. And that's it's super normal and super usual. Very
yeah,
funny.
it's
Anyway.
thinking we're right does not constitute righteousness was the first line, that one of the first lines we read. And that's something, that again in chiropractic, where people have gone so far astray of what our core is, as you were talking about treatment, and they think they're right in adding these things to chiropractic, and in reality it dilutes what we do and confuses people, confuses them, as they don't understand the power of what they truly have available to them, and they dish it off to all the adjunctive therapies and vitamins and nutrition that they want to recommend to people. Not that there's problems with those things, but you have to somehow keep it separate from chiropractic.
It's called, yeah, exactly. If you call this chiropractic, you can only hold my adjustment, if you take some vitamin D. You know what I mean? And those type of things is absolutely ridiculous. But
I think behind this all, if you are coming from the place of our major premise, and then it's inductive reasoning versus deductive reasoning. When you're not aware of the major premise, then you're looking outside to fix rather than the major premises. It's already here. We just need to find it and be with it.
Well, you have to include what's it 26, 27, where you have the function of innate, and innate being a separate from, but a part of universal that's within each living thing.
now that you guys are getting into the 33 principles, once we get to this next page, there's a lot of Stevenson like, I feel, and I think there's been arguments that Stevenson didn't get anything from Dede, and I think that's crazy. This is, once again, and we've all talked about this many times, this is very much, it seems like, Stevenson's getting it right from Dede Palmer.
Yeah.
And maybe making the words a little bit more palatable, but these next pages, you're going to get a lot out of that, I'm pretty sure. Let's go through that. You ready?
Let's go. Bio, a combining form of the Greek bios, life, used to indicate relation to or connection with life, vital phenomena, or living organisms. Biology is the science of life, the study of living things. It consists of knowledge of principles and facts concerning life, the certainty that we live, and the conditions which cause us to have an intelligent existence. Life may be one of health or one of disease. Biology treats organized things under their diverse relations, their organic structure, life, growth, action, and reproduction. I desire to give you some of the important principles of biology as observed from several viewpoints, confining myself to the physiological branch, which treats of the functions of the human body. You may accuse me of repetition. Fleeting impressions are only veneered. Essential ideas are worthy of repetition. What is life?
This is where we're getting, this next question is, what is life, right? He's going to start with that. This is where we're starting to get into our philosophy too, and understand Dede, I think, a little bit better. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Alan, but this is an important distinction in starting this paragraph. Go ahead.
Your highlights are always valuable.
Thank you.
What is life? It is the quality that distinguishes a living animal or plant from an inorganic body from one which does not live, whose movements are not determined by an intelligence. Life consists of actions guided by intelligence. Life may consist of too much elastic force, too great or a lack of resisting vigor. And such a condition is known as disease. I think that right there is some of the stuff you were talking about a moment ago.
Yeah,
life
and it goes on later on too.
Actions guided by intelligence.
Yeah, exactly right. Now, the elastic force, life consists of action guided by intelligence. I love it. Life may consist of too much elastic force. What does he actually mean by elastic forces? I'd like to know more about that, if you guys have any insights on that. Because I know what he talked about with the nerve, it's nerve tension, right? Like you're tuning a guitar.
There it is. Yes.
And
I think elasticity and tone go together.
Yeah. So what does he mean in elastic forces?
Maybe things may be overstretched beyond their ability to adapt.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. And there's no elastic forces, with a corpse. I've done a couple of dissections, but I never pinched the skin to see if it would go back, but I don't remember. I don't think it would.
Nah.
So that elastic force has changed, right?
But that's reduced.
Reduced, but not gone. So resisting vigor, such as a condition known as disease. All right, we can move on.
Animals and plants have an existence because they live. They exist as living beings on account of their bodies being composed of organs controlled by an intelligence. An organ is any part of an organism. An organism is an organized being. An organized being is one which is composed of organs. An organ is that which has a particular function to perform. The sensory or sense organs receive impressions from the objective realities through the sensory or sense organs, transform them into sensation, conscious sense perception. Eyes are organs of sight, ears that of hearing. The olfactory organ has the sense of smell. The nerves of taste are distributed to the palate. Epiglottis, larynx, and tongue. To these may be added the senses of pressure, temperature, pain, hunger, and thirst. Keep going.
Yeah, let's finish the next paragraph too.
Biology is the broadest sense, includes embryology, the development of the embryo in animals and plants. Zoology, the form, nature, and habits of animals. Botany deals with plant life. Physiology relates to the functions of living bodies, animals or plants. Anatomy, the dissection of organized bodies, whether human, brute animal, or vegetable. Cytology, the science of cell life. In common language, it includes the principles and facts of the origin, development, structure, functions, and distributions of plants and animals. Life exists because of the exercise of organs. Physiologists study functions, the action of organs. Physiology deals with the processes, activities, and the phenomena incidental to life, the characteristic actions which constitute life. Those qualities are determine a living organism from one which does not live. Those actions which depend upon an intelligence.
There, another one right there for 33.
Yes, physiology deals with the processes, activities, and the phenomena incidental to life, the characteristic actions which constitute life. These qualities which determine a living organism from one which does not live, those actions which depend upon an intelligence.
Yeah. Now, in the next sentence is life consists of the actions of a living organism. They may be of health. Those desired to make us happy, give us ease, or there may be those known as disease, those which came from sensation and actions not desired. So what do we make of all this? Because the next part he's talking about the body is, incapable of creating new forces. So we're going to talk about force in just a moment. I think it's important we give definitions of life. You realize, in the medical world, they don't define life very well. They don't define sickness very well, right? He just did it so eloquently, and I really enjoy that. Should we keep going? Anybody have anything? Barry, go ahead.
Yeah, I do, Haig. It's interesting. What do we get out of this? I would easily say a person ought to believe that there's something intelligent behind our body here. And if they do not believe in that, aka innate intelligence, you might as well stop reading the book right now. Might as well stop chiropractic, go find something else. There's the common theory behind this is intelligence behind all of this.
In living things.
In this living
case, we're talking about in living things. There's an intelligence in living things that allows all these organs to work in coordination. Yes.
And that's the magic of what we do. The life itself, and teaching people that you have an innate intelligence within you, that it does not leave you. It's not going to run away because you've been naughty today, Well, and your body's always working its best for you. That's one thing I tell people is that, even this pain is part of your healing. Your body hasn't forsaken you. Innate intelligence hasn't forsaken you. You're healing it every minute. It's doing the best it can for you. Bob, you got something?
Unmute.
Usually when I see you change from Carol to Bob.
Universal intelligence is used, and that deals with beyond the flesh, beyond the organic matter.
Go ahead, Bob.
I'm out of
Yeah,
here.
it's just such a wonderful thing that we get to do this. The first thing I ever tell people when they come in is that you're here because you have an amazing ability to heal. And then I said, I know that might sound obvious, but just think about it, because you may not spend much time ever thinking about that, but that's exactly the reason why we can even help you here. And it's because life is is a gift. And in that gift is that intelligence that runs and heals everything.
Yeah.
Well,
mean,
I
sounds so
said something and I
commonplace to us,
didn't get any response. It was kind of like brushed over. My question is, we're talking about intelligence. What is universal intelligence? Is that different from innate intelligence? We're
but
talking about
innate
a
is part
different
of
thing.
universal. And universal is God. Innate is that portion of God that
So we're
animates.
not just talking about, we're talking about a specific type of intelligence.
I don't know.
When Dee Dee Palmer said, people aren't ready to hear God and spirit. So we're going to call those things universal and innate. So in the chiropractic terms, that's how we defined it. And it's so much more. In 1910, he goes into it quite a bit more. And I might have that one somewhere close, but I'll find that quote from 1910. I have the page. But want to define universal
To
intelligence.
answer my question, you're saying that universal intelligence is not really what we're talking about. We're talking about innate intelligence, the body.
Right now.
But
Yeah.
innate is not separate from universal. Innate is a part of, but apart from. It's not independent. It functions in an individual, but it's a part of the universal intelligence.
Right. I thought we were talking about intelligence in a way that doesn't deal with minerals, but I think it does.
Well, you talking about universal intelligence maintains minerals in their form.
Correct.
So here's the analogy I like to use. When a tree is alive, there's an innate intelligence that allows it to adapt to its environment. The original bonsai were shrunk trees that live on the side of a mountain. If you have a wooden desk in front of you, you know it's wood. But it won't adapt. The innate intelligence is gone from that piece of tree, but the universal intelligence is still there, maintaining its structure as a piece of wood. So there's a universal intelligence is present in everything.
Adaptation is the difference between, is that what makes?
Innate intelligence.
Say again? Carol, were you saying something?
No, I was talking about, sorry.
I'm sorry, Steve, you were still asking a question then. I'm sorry.
Well, Steve, do you have your question clear, or how can we make it? Let's all figure it out. Because this is an important thing. People, you're not the only one asking those things. This is where the dilemma, a lot of it comes in our chiropractic philosophy. Because when we're talking about innate intelligence, we're talking about universal at the same time, right? And it's a one of the whole. It's a portion of the whole, but it's still the whole. Pasquale used to call it the hologram. It's a hologram. Like each portion of the hologram is really the whole picture. And so God is that hologram, and we are that portion. We are one portion of that hologram, but still a whole thing. Does that make sense?
Well,
that's what he described it to me.
I think we read somewhere in one of the green books about there are is some innates greater than other innates, and we have is there not a
more life
gradation that goes from the human being to maybe someone who's not quite as realized with the intelligence, and then you've got a monkey that has innate intelligence, and then when does innate intelligence get stopped. I
The innate
think it's
intelligence
dead.
is the innate intelligence
dead.
is perfect for the vehicle that it's in.
Now, a plant has innate intelligence, right?
Does
But
it?
when it's dead, the energy is reclaimed by universal forces to bring it back and recycle that energy. That's what disease is really for, is to recycle. You're done? Okay, let's recycle you. We'll use it for some
I
plant
say
up a
I'm not
plant.
sure. I'm not sure innate intelligences can be excluded from anything all the way down to the atom, because where does it?
But
Where
then you're
does
really talking about universal when we're talking about it, in the atom and making this being.
Universal is unsolicitous. That's the difference between the intelligence in the atom and the intelligence in living things. The
I like
atom will
that.
blow up and cause damage, or an atom can be maintained in its consistent form as an atom in a tree or a piece of metal, but it's unsolicitous. It doesn't care. Wind blows, gravity sucks. It's but they don't care. But innate intelligence is to adapt those forces when they come into living things and allow that what it is existing within to adapt and survive.
Now, I'm going to call out Ryan McGrath because we talked about this exact thing in my garage. If you remember, let's see if we can get
This is
some
a regular conversation.
solid discussion, guys.
As far
And
as
Luke,
I can
if you ever
tell.
want to butt in, if you got something, just jump in, man. I'm stoked to have you. And I'm wondering if that was a big bottle of tequila you just turned up a few minutes ago.
No, it's lemon water. I gotta stay hydrated.
Okay. That's funny. Brian said his daughter is sleeping. That's cool. Hey, we love you, man. I'm just calling you out. Hey, Alan, why don't you keep going? Do you mind?
I'm good. Life consists of actions of the living organism. They may be of health, those desired to make us happy, give us ease, or they may be those known as disease, those which cause sensation and actions not desired. The body is capable of creating new forces. Force is that which originates or arrests motion. Vital force is the energy which gives life or action to an organism, the vital power which distinguishes living matter from the dead. Organic force is the inherent vigor latent in an organ. Nerve force is the power or ability to conduct impulses. Reserve force is the energy which is stored in an organ or organism that is not required for normal functioning. Intelligent actions are the expression of the sum total of life. This intelligence is able to accumulate and store energy derived from without. Certain fixed and definite conditions release this energy.
Now, I mean, that's like Stevenson's pulled this straight from him and just reworded some stuff, which I think is awesome. But vital force is what he liked to use. When BJ said mental impulse, he didn't like that. Vital force to him was much more descriptive, and I kind of agree, But this is where he's going through those forces and giving those definitions, which I think is very, very important. Anybody else? All right, I have a note. Okay, page 42, he starts, I think there's somewhere on here he has tone. This is a note from like 3 or 4 years ago from me. But you guys, are we clear on those last couple of pages? You want to get some more clarification or move on? I say move then.
Okay, let's
All right,
rock.
page 42.
42, the chiropractor. The condition of an organ suitable for health is known as tone. There you go. First line, Haig.
That's it. I had it covered with my sticky note.
So I'm going to read that one again. The condition of an organ suitable for health is known as tone. Tone consists of normal tension, normal firmness, and normal renitency. When nerves have the proper tension, the suitable solidity, and the required resisting force, health is the result.
Now,
I'm
going to copy that one. I'm going to put it on the post when I post the video. And I mean, that's a good quote right there. because we get so complicated with it. Chiropractors always want to hang you over a bucket and say, "What's tone mean to you?" And you've got this right here. Dee Dee's got it so simply laid out.
Yes. Go on.
Yep.
Biology embraces a knowledge of living matter in contradistinction to substances which do not possess the vital force directed by an intelligence, a quality essential to intelligent beings. That's kind of what I was talking about a minute ago. The analogy of the tree. There's intelligent life and then just organized.
Yep.
Physiology treats of the functions which create and continue a living existence, one which is normal, congenial, and of health. Pathologic physiology is that a condition in which the functions are performed abnormally. Pathology treats of the modifications of functions and the changes of tissue coincident therewith, which always accompany the disturbances of functions. Pathology includes functions performed in an unusual manner, also changes in position from that of normal, as well as abnormal structure of organs. Do we need to pause or go to the philosophy?
Well, this next tiny
Yeah.
paragraph is important in the philosophy of chiropractic.
Yeah. The philosophy of chiropractic, the reasons concerning the science and art, is an explanation of the phenomena of life and health and disease. The principles of biology are those of chiropractic. Their associated elements constitute the science of chiropractic. When formulated, they express in a clear and definite form the scientific part of chiropractic. Chiropractic science is identified by the principles of biology. Its existence depends upon biological self-evident facts. They're the constituent element parts. To comprehend chiropractic, it is essential that we should know of biology, the science of life, the physiological action of organs. We are therefore especially interested in the branch of knowledge which deals with the activities and phenomena incidental to and characteristic of living organisms. The science of chiropractic, the principles and facts pertaining to life, are distinct from anatomy, that branch of knowledge which deals with the structure only. In consideration of the above, I would give much more time to the study of the science of chiropractic than to that of anatomy. The medical fraternity have studied tissue structure for centuries and yet did not become acquainted with the practical application of the principles which compose the science of chiropractic.
Mhm.
There you go.
What do you guys think of that?
Ah,
There's a lot there.
There's a lot there, you know, and he's really, you know, he's giving us defined definitions. To me, he's always feels like he's getting us charged up. I really do. Every time I'm hearing Dee Dee, it feels like I'm ready to go. I can't wait to take care of people. It turns it on. We can keep going.
Okay,
We've got a lot to do, so might as well.
all righty. The power of the power or faculty of receiving impressions through the five senses is from without. It is of the animal functions, not organic.
wait, what? So repeat that, those two sentences?
That's one sentence, actually. The power or faculty of receiving impressions through the five senses is from without. It is of the animal functions, not organic. So, yeah. He
I
talked
don't
about
know what
organs
that, it's
earlier.
not organic. I don't know what that means. Do you?
Yes, it doesn't involve organs. It's something that's from outside in.
Okay. But
Thanks
the
for that.
reception of it is internal.
You may react to it, and that's internal, that's organic. But the actual receiving of the impression is not organic.
Okay.
While in the newborn, organic life is perfect, physical life is not yet manifested. The faculty of receiving mental impressions through the action of sense organs is one of education. Actions known as organic are not of education. So there it is, Steve. If you think about, you learn to identify the smell of coffee or a lemon or an orange. You smelled it when you were an infant, but it's not. But the organic, what he's saying here is the actions known as organic are not of education. The mental impressions through action, the sense organs, is one of education. So you have to learn those things. Yes, I see you. The vital organs perform each of the normal function from the first. The animal functions have to be developed. The recently born child has eyes to see, but sees not, ears to hear, but hears not, hands to grasp, but they do not grip, legs to walk, but they do not take a step. It has a mouth to suck, by which it imbibes nutrition. The taking of sustenance is imperative for the continuance of life. Therefore, it may be considered an organic function directed by the Creator, the intelligence which directs, controls, and builds the body. The entire organism is devoted to sustaining life. That's a great line. I need to mark that. Excuse me a second.
Say that again.
The entire organism is devoted to sustaining life.
Beautiful.
To discern what is food and what is not, the senses of taste and smell are present at birth, even so in the child born a month or two before the proper time. The child shows satisfaction or disgust with ingesta, which is pleasant or unpleasant to the taste, as shown by the facial expression, which is not acquired or imitative. As the infant advances in age, its face becomes more expressive. Its liking for sweet food continues during lactation, also a dislike for that which is sour.
Let me just go back to that statement. You know, the entire organism is devoted to sustain life. I mean, that goes back to what you're saying, Steve, before, and even, when our innate never leaves us. Just because we have a problem right now doesn't mean our body is not trying, innate is not trying to heal us at every moment. It's never forsaken us. And that's the part right there that people, it's what they forget about from the programming, drug ads and all those things. The entire organism is devoted to sustaining your life. Your hurt toe is helping you keep it from getting hurt more. Yeah, thank you for reading that. You guys, I think we should, what do you think, taking a little break here? And then we come back to that spot, or should we just, because we have a couple of more pages and there's some good stuff.
There's only another paragraph. There's like just
All
half
right.
a page here is the end of this chapter.
Okay, excuse me. A function was connected to my last page, and I didn't see that paragraph. Let's finish this page and we have this chapter done. Thanks for that.
All right, so we're at to be a food in a physiological sense, the substance must not affect injuriously the nutritive process by which foodstuff is transposed to tissue. In the infant, sugar is needed to form fat, furnishing elasticity to muscles and nerves. In diabetes, the sugar is carried out of the system, in consequence of which the patient becomes quite thin and emaciated. Carbohydrate fat is of a more solid consistency than the fat derived from other sources. The physiological assimilation of sugar in the production of fat is a vital organic process and cannot be imitated in the laboratory. Human milk contains a ratio of 1 albumin, 2 of fat, and 4.2 of sugar. Acids as ingesta produce rigor, rigidity, shortening of nerves and muscles. Emotional states of the mother modify the quantity and quality of milk, indicating the connection between the mammary glands and the nervous system. Innate, the spirit, selects that which contains sugar instead of acids. To the infant, acids create a toxic effect, the pathological condition, contraction of the nervous system. It will be readily seen why the controlling intelligence selects substances which are sweet instead of sour. The sense of smell is closely allied to that of taste. The nose often suggests to the mouth whether to accept or reject an article for ingesta. Feeling is first experienced and manifested through the lips. What the adult would feel with the hands, the infant tries with its lips and mouth. Feeling with its lips is followed by sensing with the hands and feet, stuffing everything reachable into the mouth to feel and taste. In time, sight and hearing are developed. While sight gives us 9/10 of perception, it is the last of the five senses to come into activity. Creative intellect is rare. Everyone cannot be an original thinker. The world's mental work is mainly done by a few matter-of-fact individuals. It requires peculiar geniuses of certain mental characters and aptitude that qualifies a person for special success in a given line, one of distinctive taste, an inclination, a disposition, and natural bent for intellect to originate and visualize the telegraph, the telephone, the phonograph, the moving picture, the aeroplane, and chiropractic. While everyone cannot be an original thinker, everyone can learn to be reliable, observe, and husband the knowledge acquired by others, make it useful and profitable. He's taking a slap at some folks right there.
Well, he is. And you know what? I'm really, I think about I was at Life when the accreditation thing happened. And then, in the early 2000s. And, one of the things was they took the chiropractors and they replaced them with PhDs to teach the sciences. If you didn't know that, chiropractors could teach the sciences. Pasquale used to teach neuroanatomy at neurology at it was Columbia then, I think it was, in New York City with Reggie Gold. And I noticed the difference when I was in school, because the last 3/4 of mine I had these PhDs teaching, and to get a perspective from a chiropractor of the physiology of the body, we just got an amazing insight from D.D. Palmer with a connection to where he says innate and spirit, when we're really talking about that life force. I really appreciate this section in biology, and that's the first thing I thought of, that a lot of the students are really missing out because chiropractors are not teaching the sciences anymore. That's a sad thing. Anyway,
What
those are
I
my
held up, what I held up in here is the cycle of sight.
from Stevenson.
Yeah, and this is kind of when we're talking about intelligences, there's the universal intelligence, God, whatever. That's on the cycle of sight, that is shown outside of the retina of the eye. What's interesting is as it goes afferently to the brain cell, to the innate intelligence after the ideation of the impulse, universal intelligence, God again, is listed on the inside.
No doubt. Yeah. What page is that so people can reference it, what you're talking about that listen to the video?
I don't have the page. I have it on my phone because I've been looking at this for over 50 years.
Yeah.
And I don't even know what to say about it because I just go, what were we talking? Not miraculous, but a thing of wonder.
Steve, I appreciate that so much because, with I say young chiropractors, I mean, it's not always young, but when they read the philosophy or read something, oh yeah, that's easy, whatever. But when you say you've been looking at this for 50 years and you're still in awe
Yeah,
and still thinking through it,
I can't
this
figure it
is all
out. I cannot figure it out.
Cycle of sight is page
And that's
70,
fine.
page 71 of Stevenson.
Yes, page 71 in Stevenson's. And does it need to be figured out? Can we spend time in the magic of it, right? The amazingness.
Yes. That's what the first few lines that we read today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not miraculous. What was that? Marvelous.
Marvel. Worthy of marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in the Marvel universe.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's not amazing. It's marvelous. Exactly right.
And
Okay, so
the
I
last
do think that with innate intelligence, and you go to plants, you said innate intelligence is in plants, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, when you go to evolution and you think about it, I don't think it begins here with plants. There's probably plant minerals or something like that, like there's bacteriophages. There's also, it's a gradation. It's not, it's a gradation from inorganic to organic. At no particular point can you go, here, we like to put steps down to define it, like the
Well,
peripheral and the
I think the
central.
difference between you think about an inorganic stone does not have the ability to heal, but it has universal forces holding it together, right? But a living creature, just say your yucca plant in your backyard, you get a big gouge in the side because you chopped one of those big anaconda out there, and it leaves a mark in the side of that tree. You could skin your gator to it, and then your hole's going to close up because that tree is going to hold out there in the
Okay,
Everglades. No,
all right.
you're
When you think
out in the
about, when
swamp
you,
up in
but
Gainesville.
here you go. When you think about the earth, at one point the earth was on fire, and then it cooled down, and then
Yeah.
water started happening, and then the land started. At what, somehow there is this, I don't know what else to say about it other
Well,
than,
is it the seed or the soil? Where does life come from? That's God and creation. Where do we believe in our beliefs? Those are big things, and that's not necessarily what we're going to create. Is that understanding in this moment? But many people have read this book, and D.D. Palmer, Bruce Lipton being one of them, who said I was an atheist until I read D.D. Palmer, and I knew there was a God. So these things touch
the
people in
idea
many
of
ways,
dirt.
change the lives of
It,
many people.
the
Go ahead, Steve.
idea is dirt can think. You and I are dirt that are thinking, dirt that are loving, dirt that are eating. I'm dirt that is seeing, and it's
Well,
It's
you're
it's
just
not
a
the
dirty
dirt, it's the
boy.
life within the dirt.
it's
That's even
beyond
different.
comprehension.
Well, we touched on a lot.
Well, I wanted to touch one thing before we go here right at the end. I want to go back to that last paragraph and talk about the fact that creative intelligence creative intellect is rare,
Yeah.
and that while everyone cannot be an original thinker, anyone can learn to be reliable, observe, and husband the knowledge required by others, make it useful and profitable. That if there are people that come up with big ideas, and we're
I
all
don't think
capable of,
I don't
excuse
think
me,
anybody's an original thinker. Whatever, nobody has an original thought. It came from before.
there's everybody is able to think and can reconfigure ideas into new formats. Then is that better for you, Steve?
That's correct.
Nonetheless, not everybody has the ability to do that to the same degree,
Exactly.
apparently.
Or want. Or want.
But everybody has the ability to learn from the people that are doing being able to
Yeah.
reformulate for us and make
Correct.
ideas work better.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah.
and I think that Didi's talking about that here and talking and saying, there are he's taking a little bit of a left-handed nudge at people that say they're doing new stuff in chiropractic, and he's saying, not everybody is making new stuff here,
No.
but everybody you all can learn
people
it
is what he's
and
saying.
use it, and you got to learn to do it the right way.
Fantastic. I love you guys. Have a good night. If Bob, you have something else? All right, guys, you got about
Oh, I just was going to say something everybody already knows and says, and that's there's nothing new under the sun, like like Steve was saying, and I think that's absolutely true. And yeah, I may not have the distinction of being an original thinker, but I certainly understand something when it comes my way. And chiropractic, boy, that's just really a wonderful, wonderful gift to this world.
Think of the awesomeness of chiropractic, BJ, Pasquale used to say. All right, guys, our time is done. I love and appreciate you. Next week, same time, same
All
channel.
right, next
Okay?
week. All right.
Good to
See you
see you
then.
all
Got it.
again.
Love and
Bye-bye.
appreciate you all. Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Nighty night.
Stay warm.